Hi everyone, happy Friday. Sorry I couldn't be with you guys today. I miss you, don't you worry. And everybody embarrass Kaylin, say happy birthday to her for on Sunday. Okay, so go ahead and get out your notes and turn to page 12. So for this, we are going to be talking about the end behavior. So specifically the ends of these graphs. So yesterday we talked about if they're even or odd and stuff like that. So today we're just going to be talking about the ends and how these graphs are pointing either up or down and stuff like that. So the end behavior is the behavior of the graph as x approaches positive infinity which that's the symbol for that, or negative infinity. Sorry. Which looks like that. So if you have trouble drawing that symbol, just turn your paper sideways and make an 8. So when you write the end behavior, it's going to be represented, or you're going to write it as this x approaches positive infinity and x approaches negative infinity. Okay. So a positive even graph. Okay. So an even graph has degrees that are even numbers, so 2 or 4, and positive meaning that it both ends are going upwards like this. So let's just redraw that graph right here. So if we are looking at this and specifically looking at the ends and these quadrants, when we do these quadrants, we're going to talk about the x and the y values, but these values are never ending. That's why we have arrows on the ends of our graphs. So we can't say that it goes to like positive 20 because we don't know where it ends. That's why we use infinity. So now the positive and the negative come in when depending on what quadrant you are in. So this quadrant, both the x and the y values are positive. And over here, the x values are negative, but your y values are still positive. Okay. So when you're talking about your end behavior, you're going to look across your x and your y axis. So when it says the left, this would be the left side, and this would be the right side. So to the left of the x-axis, your x values are going to approach. So if I look at my x, so this is x and this is y, x and y, my x is approaching negative infinity. And my y values are approaching positive infinity. And then to the right of the y-axis, both x and y are positive infinity. Okay. So now negative even graphs. So a negative even graph would be something like this. So if we're looking at this quadrant, both the x and the y values are negative here. Then over here, x is positive, but the y's are negative. So again, on the left side, so over here, my x and my y value are approaching both negative infinity. So if you can't draw this infinity sign, just flip your paper to the side and draw an 8. Just a trick. Then for the right side, which is over here, x and y. So x is positive infinity and y is negative infinity. Okay. So a positive odd graph. So an odd graph example would be like our linear graph. So it starts down and goes up. So like this. So here, just like in this one, both the x and the y's are positive. And down here, just like this one, the x and the y's are both negative. So this shouldn't really, once you've gotten all 4 quadrants at one point, you can just fill in the other quadrants. So to the left, so over here, are both negative infinity. And then to the right are both positive infinity. So then lastly, you've got a negative odd graph, so like this. So just like this one up here, right here is negative positive. And down here, just like this one, is positive negative. So the left x is negative infinity and y is positive infinity. And on the right, x is positive infinity and y is negative infinity. So if you want, if I were you, I would memorize your quadrants if you don't know these already. So you have your x-axis and your y-axis. So these are labeled with Roman numerals and they go in a counterclockwise. So this would be quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So your values in quadrant 1 are both positive. Over here, your x's are negative and your y's are positive. They're both negative. And your x's are positive, but your y's are negative. So that might be something, if I were you, that I'd start to memorize if you don't already know that. Okay, let's do a couple of examples. Okay, so first we're going to say if it's even or odd and positive or negative, like what we talked about yesterday. So even meaning that both of your ends are going in the same direction. So if I'm looking at this, I've got one end that is going up and one end that is going down. So this is odd then. And then positive or negative. So if we are going up from left to right, then it's positive. If we are going down from left to right, then it's negative. So this is going down from left to right, making this negative. So when you're describing your end behavior, you need to do both your left and the right side of your y-axis. So this over here being the left and then the right. So this, we can look at our x and our y values. So our x's are negative and our y's are positive. And down here, your x's are positive and your y's are negative. So this can help you write your end behavior then. So on the left side, x approaches negative infinity and y approaches positive infinity. And then on the right side, x approaches positive infinity and y approaches negative infinity. Okay. Okay, so if you could please pause the video and do this one on your own. Okay, then once you think that the class is ready, go ahead and unpause it and I'll do that. Okay, so hopefully we did this all right, but both of our ends are pointed upward, meaning that this is going to be even. And because both of them are up, that means that this is positive. Okay, so this quadrant, just like this one, is negative, positive. Now you don't have to write this on every single graph if you don't want to, but I know it does help some people. And this one is positive, positive. So on the left side, x approaches negative infinity and y approaches positive infinity. Then on the right side, x approaches positive infinity and y approaches positive infinity. Okay. So for homework tonight, you have to do all of this, and you also have to explain why it is either even or odd, and then positive or negative. So it's even if both of your ends are going in the same direction, and it's odd if they're going in opposite directions. So that would be your reasoning. And then is it positive or negative? So positive would be either, depending on if it's even or odd, either both ends are going up for positive, or if it's an odd graph, then it's going to go up from left to right. It'd be negative if both of your ends are pointed down, or if it's going down from left to right. Okay? So if you need to rewatch this video, it's up on YouTube, so feel free to rewatch it. Go home and watch it if you've got questions. But if not, I will see you all on Monday. Okay, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you later. Bye.